Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us today on this Facebook and YouTube Live, where we are going to be talking about California Lutheran University's MBA Pathway Program. We have a great set of guests here with us today. First off, we have Ms. Adriana Dominguez, who is the International Admissions Counselor at California Lutheran University. Mr. Dane Rowley, who is the Director of International Admissions at CLU, and of course, Ms. Carol Sweat, who is the Managing Director of the California Lutheran MBA Pathway Program, and she is the one who is going to be working day in and day out with your students when they come to join us for this. Of course, my name is Mackenzie Kirby, and I'm the Director of Global Higher Education Recruitment here at ELS. For today's conversation, we're going to be covering all things California Lutheran and really digging in deep to the MBA Pathway Program, which is such a great option for your students, particularly those who are looking to get into their business programs at a really accessible and affordable way, and in a way that is going to set them up for global success when they leave their academic studies. We're also going to be talking about the admissions requirements, the application process and deadlines, what it is like to live on campus, and what the different housing options are for students. And of course, what I personally think one of the most important things is the career and student services that are offered to support your students while they're on campus, and also when they leave and go off to their professional careers. At the end, we're going to address the key contact information as well, so you know who you can chat with moving forward. Now, before we get started, if you could, in the chat box, whether you're watching this on Facebook or you're watching this on YouTube, just let us know what the top reason is for you attending this webinar. So are you coming to learn really basic information about CLU? Because that'll help us to determine what we should spend the most amount of time talking about. Are you here to learn really a lot about the MBA pathway option? Or are you more interested in learning about the career services that are offered? Now, we're going to cover all of this, but this is just really helpful for us to know what is going to be the most important information to share with you. So of course, please feel free to type that in the chat box and we'll be able to give that a review. And as we're talking, we want to hear from you. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. If we don't get to your question while we are live, I will be going back through the chat comments later and answering questions there too. Feel free to include your name and the agency that you work for, so we can also send you an email to follow up with any information that would be necessary as well. And lastly, give us a thumbs up if you think that this information is really helpful. That way we can know that we're giving you exactly what is going to be the most helpful for you. And without further ado, let's get started and talk all about CLU and whether or not this is going to be the perfect MBA program for you. So I'm going to hand it over to Dane and Adriana right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, and thanks for joining us. Glad that you're here with us for this. And I'm going to share just a little bit about Cal Lutheran and kind of overview of the institution. I know many of you want to learn a little bit more about the university. Some of you may already know a lot about Cal Lutheran, but why choose Cal Lutheran for the MBA program? Well, we have both a rigorous and a relevant curriculum. It's practical and theoretical. It has that great balance where some programs might be a little bit more on theory, others might be only about practice. For us, it's both. You'll have professors that have incredible PhDs and great academic and research experience, a lot of faculty who have practical real-world experience who are currently working and teaching for us. We also have small class sizes, and as I'll talk about in a couple slides, a fantastic location that's perfect for your students. Next slide, please. Another reason why is the reputation that California Lutheran University has. We're ranked among the top 300 universities in the United States by Forbes. We're in the top 10 of Western regional universities in the United States. So from Texas over, we're in the top 10. We're compared often to the California State University systems, as well as other mid-size universities that provide bachelor's and master's degrees. So top 10. Again, a great reputation. And then in an Economist ranking from a few years ago, we were ranked in the top 20 in the United States for alumni salary or earning above expectation, which means not only do we do a great job of helping our students get the job after they graduate, but they can negotiate for higher salary. I mentioned our location. This location is really ideal for students who want to have access to Los Angeles, to all the great internships, research experience, the cultural life, the beauty, the hiking trails, the ocean, all within less than an hour's drive. So Hollywood's 45 minutes away, the beach is 30 minutes away, and Los Angeles is only 1 hour away. And Thousand Oaks is ranked as one of the safest cities in the United States. So all those make for a great reason, or collection of reasons why Cal Lutheran is a great place to study. Along with that, next slide, please. A personalized academic experience where you can choose your own emphasis area or professional track, whether it's entrepreneurship, finance, international business, IT, human capital management, or marketing. If students don't know which one they want to choose, it's okay. You can apply for the Pathway Program through our advising. Our support will help you figure out what the right path is for you. Next slide, please. We are very strong in entrepreneurship, in startups. We have a group called Hub 101 that's an off-campus business incubator that's sponsored by Cal Lutheran, where students are able to observe and work for startup companies, learn what to do, what not to do as you start up your own business, and learn all of the nuances. We have fantastic guest speakers that come in, opportunities for networking as well, so that you can really learn what it means to start and run and be successful in your own business as well. And beyond that, and I know Adriana will talk about this a little bit more in a few minutes, but some of our career services and what it means to not just be connected to internships and career opportunities here in the US, but also internationally as well, through both our in-person career expo every spring, as well as our virtual workshops and also virtual job resource opportunities as well. And we'll give you, actually, the next slide has a great sampling of some of the companies where our students from the School of Management, especially the MBA program, companies where those students are currently working or have worked as they graduate from Cal Lutheran. You see a lot of companies there that are located here in California that our students are able to get connected to.
And Dane, thank you so much for going over that. I just wanted to note that we did get some questions beforehand specifically about career opportunities. So it's great to have this list of companies that students and agents and counselors can see of where Cal Lutheran graduates have gone after their studies, because these are obviously huge companies, very successful students who turn into very successful professionals. So thank you so much for sharing that. And with that said, I think we're going to move on to specifically what the Pathway Program entails. Carol, would you love to chat with us a little bit about that? I think you might be muted.
I was muted, so sorry about that.
No problem.
The Pathway Program is just that. It's a path. So students can improve their English while earning MBA credits at the same time. And it's a wonderful way for them to really improve that academic English and then, just dive right into MBA programming, because you get the benefits of everything that all the other MBA students get while on campus. It also is great for study skills and for allowing you to be able to really enrich your academic career. Questions: why should you join the MBA Pathway? As we said, the English skills are some things that you're going to be able to improve. There are lower English entry requirements, and we'll talk more in detail about this later. But for a lot of our students, especially from India, we do waive some of these scores. There's a lower GPA entry requirement, which is absolutely wonderful, because there may be numerous reasons why a student has a lower GPA, health reasons, or it was a difficult period of time for them. Not to worry. One of the benefits of this program is, for example, our first cohort had a mean GPA of 2.4. And when they ended the Pathway Program, the mean GPA was 3.78. I mean, I was ecstatic. And I know everyone was very thrilled about that because it shows that it really works. No work experience is required. They don't have to have a GMAT or additional documents, and no additional cost. And we'll talk more about the student services. They are plentiful. The curriculum, you're going to have 3 11-week terms of study for a total of 33 weeks, and you'll be learning about global economics, quantitative research and methods, business strategy, organizational effectiveness, organizational behavior, managerial accounting, economics, statistics. It's a very rigorous program, but you'll have support the whole way through. As we talked about the professional tracks, a student can have a general MBA program, but if they want to, they could major in or have an emphasis in enterprise innovation and entrepreneurship. As Dane said earlier, we have a location that's very, very close called the Hub, and that is all about being an entrepreneur, all about learning how to start your own business, how to be able to, really finance it. How do you operationalize it? It's a great opportunity. Students can also have an emphasis in finance, human capital management, information technology, international business, and marketing. Here's an example of one of the professional tracks: enterprise innovation and entrepreneurship. As I said before, we have a state-of-the-art incubation facility, and it really is state-of-the-art. They have some of the best people working there, mentors that will help you to be able to not only decide how to write a business plan, but they'll show you different business models and which ones would work for maybe your ideas specifically. It also emphasizes team practice with real-world projects that you'll be working on with some of the people that actually work in the industry surrounding Cal Lutheran. It's a good balance of theoretical and practitioner education, and again, the exposure is second to none. It is so good for your career. Another one would be finance. It's also an expanding field of study, and I was just advising a student yesterday about this particular area. In the classroom, you focus on the financial results by company and the product or business units, and really gain a deep understanding of budgeting, forecasting, analyzing how to create a business that's going to be sustainable. You are going to be exposed to pricing, expense analysis for new products or global expansion, how to do a merger and acquisition analysis, treasury functions, and a lot more.
And thank you, Carol, for going over in a little bit more detail a couple of those professional tracks. Of course, she only covered 2 of them, but if you are interested in the other professional tracks, we're not going to talk about them right now, but we would love to chat with you about them privately. I know Carol is an expert in all things in the Pathway program, and she could share a lot of the details on the other professional tracks as well. And now moving on, we wanted to also give you guys the information about the admissions requirements and then the deadlines and fees that you would need to be aware of if you have a student who's planning to apply for the MBA Pathway program.
All right, so I can jump in and talk about this one a little bit, and Carol, you can fill in. Now, I will say, for California Lutheran University, when you submit the applications for your students through UAS, then they come to us. Adriana helps process them, and then within 24 hours, I will review and make an admission decision. And so here on the call, you have 2 of the people that are going to be working with you initially, and then we've passed that on to Carol, who's going to be the great support and helping your student as they transition and get ready to come. But how do they get into the program? You'll see here a very useful chart for direct admission requirements, as well as CLU MBA Pathway, and then MBA conditional admission. We'll focus on the MBA Pathway requirements. A student could have as low as a 2.1 or equivalent GPA. We do waive the GRE or GMAT, And for students coming from India, we typically waive English exam results for the Pathway program because we know that students are going to be coming in with a baseline level of English, and the Pathway is going to be able to get them to where they need to be successful in our MBA program. Now, if you're working with a student and you think that your student, as you get to know them, needs a little bit more support and help with English, then that's something we would be happy to connect with you about. We could offer conditional admission for the Pathway program where they could do IM Plus and be able to get ready to then jump into the MBA Pathway program. So just because we don't always require that minimum level doesn't mean we won't support you and your students as they might need some additional English as they get ready to enter the Pathway program. If there's any doubt about whether a student would be admissible for Pathway direct admission or conditional admission, we're also happy to do a pre-application review, connect with our colleagues and be able to get those transcripts to us. We'd be able to take a quick look and just let you know, yes, we would encourage this application either for conditional direct or certainly for MBA Pathway.
And Dane, can I just ask you a question really quick? So you said that the English scores are typically waived for students coming from India. If there's someone who's watching this right now who is working with a student who's not from India, how does that differ? Or are there any resources available for those students and agents?
Absolutely, yeah, and we've got materials that we can send you, and we can get you more information about those minimum scores. But for the if they're not from India, or generally when we do require test scores for the Pathway program, it's an IELTS of a 5.0, TOEFL IBT of 60 or higher, ELS level 108 or higher, and then Pearson Test of English of 50 points or higher for those. We also accept Duolingo, and we can get you those minimum scores as well. The general admission requirements for direct admission are 6.5 IELTS or an 88 TOEFL. So obviously the Pathway program provides that English and academic support.
Sure. Thank you so much for going over that. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Dane. And so I'll be talking a little bit about the deadlines. So we have our upcoming spring 2022 deadlines. The January 15th, that's when we'll be accepting applications till. And as Dane had mentioned, I am the one who processes those applications, and the MBA Pathway Program applications are top priority for Cal Lutheran. So we will get you a decision within 2 business days. And then after a student submits their deposit and financial documentation, we will issue the I-20 from Cal Lutheran within 5 business days. And then there's the confirmation deadline, so confirming to enroll, of January 28th, 2022. And then students' arrival on campus. This is really important. We want students to arrive a couple days before the mandatory orientation. And this is so they can get settled and be ready for this 2-day comprehensive orientation. It's very important. They're going to meet with other graduate students in their program. They're going to meet with faculty and staff and very important services and departments at Cal Lutheran. So that 2-day orientation is really important to note down for February 23rd and 24th. And then the first day of classes start that following Monday on February 28th. Next slide. Thank you. And then so the MBA Pathway tuition and fees is listed here. So it's broken down by their tuition, fees, the mandatory student health insurance, on-campus housing, books and personal expenses, which takes it to that estimated total of $45,125 US. And that's what we'll require as proof of funding and a bank statement or a financial form to issue that I-20 from Cal Lutheran.
And I just wanted to go back to what you said about the 2-day decision, because I think that is so key for students. We know that when your students are submitting applications that they are excited and they are 100% on board and they just want to get that acceptance as soon as possible. So the fact that CLU has that quick turnaround times means that you get to give your student the answer as soon as possible, and they can still be excited about it. It's only 2 days later. All right, so let's move on to the career services that are offered for CLU students.
Great. Thank you, Mackenzie. So again, Dane had highlighted this earlier, but the Career Services Office is one of the most important offices at Cal Lutheran for our students to stay connected with during their studies. They provide different events throughout the year. As Dane briefly mentioned, the Career and Internship Expo, that's hosted every spring, and we have over 100 different companies and organizations come to campus and meet with our students. So it's a really exciting day, and we prep for it all year. And I think this year it will be in March, the beginning of March of 2022. And then our Career Services Office also does one-on-one career counseling and guidance for our students. And they host a variety of free workshops as well. And there are a few geared specifically towards international students, such as the US Job Search, which reviews the OPT and CPT processes and options for our students. There's salary negotiation workshops and mock interviewing. And there's also what we call the Marketing You series. And this is a great series. It focuses on putting together an outstanding resume. And so our career services staff, they help our students and guide our students through that process. So again, there's lots of different resources available and ways for our students to connect through our career services office at Cal Lutheran. And then we also have a variety of academic support resources to set our students up for success. So as Carol had mentioned, last fall, we had our first ever cohort of Pathway students start in the program. And as of this last summer, they successfully transitioned into the MBA program with that incredible mean GPA of 3.78 or higher. I have to keep highlighting that. That was so impressive, and we were just so proud of our students. And now these students have a strong foundation from that Pathway program to be successful in the MBA program. And this happens with so much support from the one-on-one academic advising that they receive and that personalized attention, and the support they receive also from the Writing and Tutoring Center. And students have access to these support services during their time in the Pathway program and continue to have that personalized attention and academic support as they transition into the MBA program. Next slide. And then briefly, I wanted to provide a COVID-19 update and our response. So we have successfully returned to in-person classes and student life for the fall semester, and we are so excited to welcome our students back on campus. And as we plan and look forward to spring 2022, we will continue to follow all the CDC public health guidelines and the policies set forward by Cal Lutheran, which include vaccination requirements for all students, faculty, and staff, mask requirements inside buildings and inside classrooms, and regular COVID testing that's done on campus by our health services department. And I just want to say these policies show that Cal Lutheran really, really cares about the health and safety of our students and campus community. It's our main priority. And we want to continue in this positive direction by maintaining in-person instruction and on-campus activities.
And thank you so much for sharing the COVID updates as well, because I know that you guys have successfully returned to the fall semester, and I've heard from all of you how busy it is and a flutter of students, and just really great to see people back on campus. Well, we are so grateful that you chose to spend some time with us right now. We are very aware of the time frame and that you guys all have things that you can be doing as well. So if we did not answer your question right now, like I said, I will be going back through the chat to make sure that we address all of the questions, comments, concerns, or feel free to send us an email. I have Kieran's email right here as well, who's the general manager for ELS India, Adriana's email, my own email, and Carol's email here too. So with that being said, thank you so much again for taking the time. Thank you so much for our speakers, and we hope you have a lovely